Right, hi again, Attorney Steve. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today we're talking about Puerto Rico and license plates and intellectual property law. Wow, it seems like a strange combo. Without further ado, let's head to the Attorney Steve litigation whiteboard. Boom. All right, so today we are talking about the famous baseball player. Some of you old timers like me, you might know him. Roberto Clemente would have been he was one of the best players of all time, but would have been even better had his life not been cut short by, I believe it was an airplane crash on a humanitarian mission. So we got one good guy here, one heck of a player, Roberto Clemente. So the District of Puerto Rico, which is one of the districts in the United States court system. A lot of people don't know Puerto Rico is in the United States court system. So, but they decided to pass a law that said, well, let's go up here and take a look. They decided to pass a law that allowed Puerto Rico to create memorative license plates. Now, Roberto Clemente being, from Puerto Rico, he was one of the best players on the island that made his way off, as they say sometimes, and made good, okay? So basically they passed a law that said, here's Puerto Rico down here. They're going to claim sovereign immunity, as I'll talk about in a second. Passed a law commemorative license plates. What I show you was one example of that license plate. And they have Roberto Clemente, and he did have a trademark on his name, Roberto Clemente Inc., I believe it was. And let's go take a look. I might have wrote it down. So anyway, so Puerto Rico decides that they're going to put Roberto on there. He's an island favorite. Everybody's going to gawk over this thing and want it on their license plate. And they did. So they sold about $15 million worth of these plates. And basically the estate of Roberto Clemente said, wait, whoa. Nobody authorized you guys to use his name, his image, or his likeness. In Puerto Rico, as I understand it, I took a look. It looks like they do have the same as you have in California, post-mortem rights. That means his right of publicity, name, image, and likeness survives even after his death. So his ears are over here going, hey, well, you made $15 million. Well, why don't you triple that, and we'll sue you for that. So there was a lawsuit filed over this. We have some of the procedural history over here. The lower court dismissed the case. They said, sorry, heirs, even though you're claiming false endorsement and right of publicity and trademark, and I'll get to that in a second. That's the key issue in the case, and trademark dilution, putting him on the back of a license plate. The lower court said, sorry, sovereign immunity, they can do what they want to do. License plates are not goods or services was one of the rationale. Which, how did you come up with $15 million? Was that a service? Was it a good? Sounds like it was a good. You can put it on the back of your car, these vanity plates. So I think it was good. Anyway, lower court dismissed it, went up on appeal, and this is where it gets interesting. One of the claims that the heirs were making, and this is the key case, I had a guy ask for a constitutional law the other day. I gave him one. Here's another one. This is the Fifth Amendment. The last one I did was Fourth Amendment. This is Fifth Amendment. And it has other things as due process and some other little clunks and things built into it, due process and whatnot. But one of the big ones is what we used to be considered to be part of real estate law, which was called eminent domain or condemnation or inverse condemnation. These have generally been known as real estate concepts, okay? And what that involves is if the government is taking your property, they're cutting out a sliver for themselves or forcing you to do this or over-regulating. Like in Arizona, there's a law of over-regulating that it can become what we call a taking under the Fifth Amendment. Now, where you have a taking, just compensation is required. What is just, that's what everybody fights about. So a lot of times you'll see a city condemned, say, we want this area, it's all dilapidated, we want to basically seize it and sell it. We'll give you just compensation, and we want to turn it into a public project. You're not supposed to be doing this for little side deals for your buddies who are friends with the government. You're not supposed to do that. Not to say it doesn't happen, of course. But anyway, so the Fifth Amendment says, thou shalt not take private property for a public use without just compensation. So that's the Fifth Amendment. And we call this the takings clause, the takings clause. So the unique novel argument here is the heirs of Roberto Clemente were saying, well, you're taking basically his name, image, and likeness, but you're taking his trademark. You say, wait, here he has a trademark. He has a federally registered trademark. They're saying you're taking his trademark. Now, the Puerto Rico is saying, well, we're not taking anything. You still have it registered with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. We're not taking. It's not like real estate where you don't have your townhome anymore. You don't have your 5 acres with your improvements on there. It's ours now. You still have your trademark. So this is a very novel concept. I can't say that I've seen this before. I think this is somewhat unprecedented. But up on appeal, in this case, they said, no, there's no physical property involved. This is a trademark or your name, image, and likeness. Those are sort of intangible rights. But if you look at the text of the Fifth Amendment, it doesn't say, it just says private property. Now, private property usually could be money, could be property. So the Roberto Clemente heirs are saying your trademark is intangible, intellectual property. Ho ho. So that's a new little twist here, right? So that went up on appeal, and they said there is no sovereign immunity. So they reversed the finding at the lower court, and then they said, we do think there is a potential Lanham Act case here. And the Lanham Act case over here deals with false endorsement. If the average person saw the license plate, they'd say, wow, the Roberto Clemente family must have endorsed that. They must have done that. And in fact, they did not. In fact, this was not something they agreed to. So here we have a case now. I have a question mark. We're up on writ of certiorari. If you want to know what a writ of certiorari is, look down in the description below. But basically, you're petitioning the Supreme Court to rehear the case. They don't have to hear it it's called the court of last resort. If they don't hear it, case closed. Sorry, Roberto Clemente family, they get to keep their profits. So that's what we're looking at. So we will keep you posted on this. Anything else good up here? So it's a really unique issue in the sense that intellectual property is being examined under the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution, and whether or not this constitutes a taking of intangible property. And if it's for public use, like the license plates, well, then maybe the Clemente family is entitled to just compensation. And of course, that would all be argued over and over again. What is just? Should it be 3 times what they made? Should it be the full amount they made? So we will keep you posted on this. The intersection of intellectual property, real estate law. I call it real estate law because that's the only place I used to ever see eminent domain. And the intersection of trademarks and intellectual property. So guys, stay tuned. This is really going to be cool. We'll keep you posted. Well, I'll let you know. They're either going to hear it or they're not. So stay tuned. Have a great day, everybody. This is general legal information only and not legal advice. Thanks for watching. Boom. Just make sure you subscribe right there. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Bye now.